All right. Good morning. Oh, got it. All right. Nice to meet you.
All right, man. So 7 surgeries into this, and we're still having pain.
Well, it's not the same pain. It's traveled in different locations. So in February of 1993, I had my first one. At that point, the pain was really in my calf, to my knee, and my ankle bone. Then it reoccurred 9 months later.
How much? A few months
9 months later.
9 months later.
I had another surgery in September. The following year, the next September, I had the third one. After the third one, I had an infection. So that ate away a good part of my bone. So I had 2 surgeries then, which was a discectomy. Then I had anterior, posterior fusion with plates and screws and the whole thing at the 4-5 level. Then I had one at the 3-4 level. Then in September of 17, I had a 6 level decompression. In April of 21, I was unable to urinate. Now it was coming up between the knee and the hip. And I was having trouble. I was having all kinds of trouble. It was going from my hip into my upper thigh, to the front of the thigh, into the left testicle. So they did another, I had a surgery by a guy named Dr. Robert Biskup, who only does failed surgeries. And he said I had the worst herniation he's ever seen. I had 3 fractured vertebrae, and it was a mess back there. And after the surgery, I was starting to get better, but I wasn't doing anything. I wasn't walking. I wasn't exercising. I wasn't playing tennis. I was doing nothing. I was sitting around getting fat. And about 3 weeks ago, we went on a family vacation. I then got on a plane, flew down to Florida, walked the convention floor for 3 days of the show. And after all of that together, without getting any rest or anything, 2 weeks ago, I couldn't walk. Literally could not. Maybe it was, 2 weeks ago, couldn't walk. I was in bed, unable to get up. The pain was so severe, there's no words for it. I don't take any medication. I went through the whole Percocet problem, come and gone. Yeah, it's exhausting to even talk about it. So right now, my pain goes from the hip to the top of the thigh to the front of the leg. And at times it's so severe, I can't walk. It's gotten better. I just finished a course of steroids. It's getting better, but I'm in no shape.
You're also not doing anything.
Doing absolutely nothing.
So if there's 2 things you're doing, steroids and doing nothing, how do you know which is making you feel better?
I don't have no clue.
Right. But the fucking dickheads who gave you the fucking steroids, they're more than happy to say it's that.
Yeah, of course. They think it's the steroids and the combination of Aleve and
right.
Tylenol and
right.
Just attack with anti-inflammatory.
So like you literally need to be deprogrammed. And this is really the thrust of what I do, is that so you from the beginning, you had symptoms in your leg. You had symptoms in your leg. You were told it's from your back.
Correct.
Right. Let me ask you this. If I hit you with a baseball bat in your leg, is that from your back?
No.
Oh, so you can have pain in the leg unrelated to the back. It is possible.
I guess so. I don't know.
Right. So what you have to understand, when I get angry, I'm not angry at you. I'm angry at the fucking cocksuckers who are willing to promote doing shit after shit after shit to people without ever recognizing the fact that what they're saying is baseless dog shit.
Sounds like Vic DiBattista.
My wife's here. I want her to be here.
Yeah, listen to this. Listen to this.
Well, yeah, I hear you. I mean, they kept telling me everything was related to my back.
Right. And here's the concept. So you know this, your wife knows this, and everyone has to know this. You had a symptom in 1993. You then got an MRI, which found a herniated disc, stenosis, some dog shit in your back. That MRI was taken at the time of your pain, and it showed the herniated disc for the first time at the time of your pain, and therefore it is asserted to be the cause of your pain.
Correct.
That's how this works. That is what is known in scientific modeling as correlative theory or junk science. If I open my front door when the sun rises, I could say opening my front door causes the sun to rise. So every morning you come to my house, every morning I open my door and there you see the sunrise and you say, wow, this guy literally has power over the sun. No, that's just called correlative theory, right? At the same time you were having your pain, the first time I could have taken an MRI and it would have shown you have two elbows. You had two elbows at the time of your pain. I could say having two elbows is the cause of the pain. Psychotically, that is the same theory. That's how sick this is. Then they neglect to mention studies have been done on people without pain because it became evident at one point that this is kind of weird. Everybody who has pain has herniated discs. Wow, that sounds kind of quite incredibly impossible. So they start doing studies on people without pain. Oops, 70% of the population have herniated discs who don't have pain. 90% of people over the age of 60 who don't have back pain have degenerative disc disease. 90%. So what you begin to understand, if you're a logician, who I am, fuck medical school. Forget what I was taught there. It's worthless shit. What I do is something I developed on my own by taking a logical analysis approach to everything. And what you start to realize is that what's being purported and promoted is literally clinically, scientifically, and theoretically baseless. It's not, it's close. It's not even, it's wrong. It's just baseless. And that's why everyone's suffering, a guy like you, right? So when I was in physical therapy school, the thing that transformed my life was you're doing your educational stuff, and then all of a sudden now you got to do affiliations. You're going to have someone in front of you, and you're acting as a student. It says student physical therapist, and there's a supervisor, and now you got to treat people. So this was a second career for me. I'm 32 years old, and to me, like the first question I would ask is, where's your pain? Can you point to where your pain is? It seemed like a logical question. And the person would point to their pain, and I'd say, wait a second. That's not where pain should be if the herniated disc were to cause pain. Every tissue creates pain in a specific area. And so it's not where it should be. Therefore, that structural variation identified can't be causing that pain. That's literally impossible. So why don't I try to figure out what tissue is creating that pain? And I would just do this analysis, and I would touch it. I would ask you to move. I would look at your posture, and suddenly I'm saying, wait a second, it seems like everyone has muscular deficits. This is coming from, I'm literally pressing on a muscle, and they're saying, yep, that's it. So I said, okay, well, that's interesting. Why don't we see if we can resolve the muscular deficit and see if it makes their pain go away? Boom, a treatment or two, pain's gone.
Wow.
So I said, oh, wow, now I'm in a real trouble here. The guy who I was working for, who I had my last affiliation with, who hired me right after that, was the guy who was the therapist for the New York Islanders hockey team. So I walk in, and this guy's always gone because he's always with the hockey team. And I say, okay, day one, graduated physical therapy therapist, what should I do? And they say, we don't know what to do. We're just administrative staff. He's not here. Do whatever you think. And I'm like, what are you, crazy? I just graduated. You know, like, listen, he's not around. Do whatever you want. And I'm like, you're telling me I'm not going to get in trouble if I do whatever. They're like, we don't know what to tell you. He's not around. You were hired. Do what you want. And I'm like, okay. So I just started treating people based on this theory. Look at the symptoms, try to understand where it's coming from, recognizing that every tissue creates a specific symptom, and then treat that tissue. And if it's muscle, do what you do, massage, stretch, and exercise. I had become a weightlifter. I had taken a high school physics course and applied physics to weightlifting. And over a 4-year period, I put on 40 pounds of muscle. That happened just before this happened. So I used this understanding of weightlifting that I had developed, which is highly scientifically based, and people are getting better. And that became the basis of what I've been doing for 30 years.
Wow.
So what you kind of sounded like you were describing originally was a sciatic symptom. Was that ever promoted to you? It was like a sciatic symptom?
Well, that was early on. Now they're saying it's an L2, L3 problem.
Right, right. So let me teach you something about this. So you said the pain's in the front of your thigh, right? And then going
Well,
down.
it comes across the back hip, the left hip.
Stand up and point to it.
All right. Lower the camera.
Yep.
Lower the camera. So it comes across here,
Yes,
right in here,
yes,
and then down here. So
yes.
up here and then here.
Yeah, that's easy. Okay, so what are you, limp? You can't put weight on that leg?
Well, right now it's a little difficult. I haven't been able to walk on this leg.
Yeah,
I'm getting
okay. But right now it looks like you're having difficulty weight bearing on it, right?
I didn't even realize it.
Yeah, well, right now all your weight's on your right leg.
Yeah, no, I didn't even realize I was.
Well, yeah, what you got to understand is that my eyes are basically the extension of a computer that simply, I see everything in graph form. So everything I see is vertical or horizontal lines. Any deviation from that, it's a blaring, noxious sight to me. So right now, you're angled this way. You're not even up and down. You're angled this way, which is telling me you're putting all your weight on your right leg, and I can kind of see.
Definitely, yeah, definitely.
So we'll work on that, but I want to show you something. So sit down.
Thank you.
And I want you, so you're going to see this. I have the brain of a freaked out, bizarro guy, but I'm really like a hockey liking, beer drinking guy. You obviously, when I speak, do I sound like I come from Harvard? No, I sound like I'm more from the gutter, from Brooklyn. Because
all right. So
that's who I am. And I was given this gift. So I feel like the reason people like working with me is because I talk to you on a level that I'm just trying to get you to understand this.
Absolutely.
In people talk, right? So I want you to take your hand. So this is my front of my thigh. I want you to push in to the front of your thigh and see if you ever go, oh shit, that hurts.
No, it doesn't hurt.
So try to push in and see if you can find knots in the muscle. Let's make it better. Let's get your wife to come over and push in and see if she can create some pain.
Yeah. Some of it is numb.
Okay.
Some part of my leg is numb. Like I don't.
Yeah, that's compression of the you strained your quad. I know what this is. This is actually a nickel and dime issue. It's very
Well, for me, it's a multi-million.
Oh God, yeah. But I'm telling you now, you want me to give you the narrative right now? Guaranteed I can tell you what it is. It's so easy.
You're in control. Do your thing.
Yep. So seriously, can you get your wife to come in a second?
Yeah, she's out of the house. She's just coming back. Freddie, you here?
Oh, okay.
Oh, he wants you to do something. Come over here.
You got to stay completely relaxed, Paul.
Well, she likes to hurt me. So
yeah, that's why I figured this would be good. Hey, how you doing? I'm giving you carte blanche to hurt him, okay? I'm giving you carte blanche to hurt him. So I want you to take your thumbs, push it into the front of his thigh, and I want you to tell me if you can feel any knotting in his quad muscle. And your leg is just hanging and relaxed, Paul.
Right.
Yes.
You can feel knotting in there. Push enough and tell me, can you create pain enough for him to feel that?
Yes.
Okay. That's
Do it
good.
again? Wait, you want me to do it again?
Yeah, I want you to do it several times. I told him this is great. This is the chance to get the wife to get back at you.
This is a crazy Sicilian, so don't give her too much.
I like it. I can hear it already.
Don't give her too much authority.
All right. So, but here's the point. Look at Here's the point, Paul.
Right.
You would acknowledge that when she presses, she could bring on the pain.
Right.
And what that means is that if someone's trying to tell you that it's coming from your back, if I was to press in the area, I shouldn't be able to bring on the pain because it's being referred from your spine.
Right.
So for me to make the pain in your quad, I would have to push on your spine at wherever they're saying the L2-3, and then you'd say, oh shit, I feel that referred to my leg. But if I press on your leg and I create the pain, that's called point tender pain, which is to say the tissue I'm pressing on is the tissue in distress, creating your pain. So by pressing on the thigh, I am confirming your pain is point tender, therefore it is not referred, therefore it is irrefutable that pain is not from your back. It's impossible.
Wow.
You understand the concept between point tender and referred?
I do. I've been trained all these years to think that my problem is I do too much. I create inflammation in my spine, and then it's referred down my leg.
Right. That's called coercion. That's called coercion. The entire to understand the size of this issue, and I'm not disrespecting your particular issue at all, but you have to understand you're one of millions, 130 million, in fact, in the United States suffer from chronic pain. 1 billion people worldwide suffer from chronic pain. And you have to understand, if you go to its inception, pain is an indication of a tissue in distress. Why do you get pain? Whether it's from your heart, your kidney, your liver, your spleen, muscle, nerve, is because the tissue's in distress. The evolutionary progression of the human body has created a situation where if there's a tissue in distress, you need to become conscious of that so you can get an intervention to resolve the stress of that tissue. When that distress is resolved, it doesn't have to elicit pain anymore. So you want to first understand you don't treat pain. We don't treat pain. We treat tissues. So cirrhosis of the liver, stenosis of the mitral valve, kidney stone. So you treat a tissue. Once the distress of the tissue is resolved, it doesn't have to elicit that emergency distress signal. Okay, so that's the first thing you have to understand, is that you have to treat tissue. Don't treat pain. Now, because of the fact that the MRI was created in the 1980s, and since then, and it's become the primary mechanism, the promotion is that all pain's from the spine.
Right.
That's the medical establishment promotion. But it's a complete fallacy, because when you look at your symptoms, and I just proved to you, you have point tender pain, not referred pain, the symptom itself is what you want to look at, not some image that shows a structural variation, because that structural variation may have been there 20 years prior to the inception of your pain. Remember, you only take the MRI for the first time at the time of the pain. That's
Correct.
the scam. The equivalent of this is that I'm going to show you how this works, and I can show you multiple ways. I've had to make this be regular people talk so people get this, because
I'm loving
it's
it.
medical and people, it sounds very complicated, but we're going to do a card trick for you. So I open up all the cards and I close my eyes. I pick a card, look at your card, any card. You look at it, you put it back. I mix up the deck, and you're watching me, and I'm not tricking you, no tricks. I mix them all up. Then I say, okay, I'm going to guess that the card you chose was the ace of spades. And you say, yeah, how'd you do that? And then I flip the cards over, and it's 52 aces of spades. I knew what your card was before. I could have told you 6 months before what your card is. Here's what's going on, is that you seem, and everyone seems stunned by the fact that an MRI showed a structural variation at the time of your pain, not realizing, I don't care if you're 6 foot, 5 foot, blue-eyed, brown-eyed, any time in your life over the age of 40, if I do an MRI, I'm going to find a structural variation.
Right.
It's called the self-fulfilling prophecy. It's a scam, my friend. It's a scam from the beginning. It's always been. It's never changed. The number of people suffering from chronic pain has never gone down in 40-something years. It led to an opioid epidemic. It has led to the highest level of suicide ever. It has led to depression, loss of job, loss of relationship. It's all from one premise. You keep going back and get the same answer, which was wrong from the beginning. I've treated hundreds of people who have come into my door and said, I am going to kill myself tomorrow if you don't fix this. You are my last resort. I've done everything else. I cannot live another day on earth like this. It's hell. And so I, unfortunately, succumbed to it myself from the pressures and the demand from this. And I kind of went schizo a little bit, and I got divorced and was a decade with my daughter. I became obsessed with this because, God forbid, somebody dies under my, I would have a heart attack from that. So that's how I got to the point of spending hours and hours and hours analyzing this shit. And basically what I've done for 30 years is very simple. I've correlated symptoms, groups of symptoms, to specific causes. And when they're muscular, which specific muscles? Okay? So I'm going to show you a bunch of pictures, and then you're going to say, this, you are 100%, this is exactly what's wrong with me.
By the way, I went through the opioid shit too.
Yeah.
Because I had no idea. I was the pain doctors were giving me Percocet and the whole thing. And about a year ago, the woman who just tried to hurt me, told me if I didn't get off the drugs, she was leaving me.
Yeah. Yeah. You see the magnitude of this shit? And you know what pisses me off? That asshole who's giving you the drugs? They don't give a shit.
When I
They
was
ain't interested in your life.
he had no interest.
It's a fucking business, man.
It's an annuity.
It is exactly that. That's exactly right.
Yeah, I
All
mean,
right, so
coming every month.
yeah, it's so cold. And what's funny is when it started to when people started to recognize that the suicide rate was so out of control, what did the government do? They didn't say, wow, we really have to understand the etiology of the opioid epidemic. We have to understand what's going on. Oh, it's not that you're not an 18-year-old guy just trying to find an alternative to street heroin. You had pain and you got caught in taking it and became addicted to it. No one wanted to understand that because you know what that means? That means you have to attack the medical system. And that's a multi-hundred-billion-dollar industry which owns Congress. So they had to go for the other one. Oh, we'll just stop people from getting the opioids. And what did it do? It just led to the adoption of legalized marijuana. That's all it did.
Exactly.
Haven't changed anything. So now on Tucker Carlson, he shows this guy whose son just died from the illegal fentanyl. And the father comes on and says, you know what happened? My son is 23 years old. He was an athlete. He ended up hurting his knee. He had surgeries. He ended up having excessive pain and got caught up on Percocet and stuff, and then decided he was going to try to find an alternative, and that's how we got the illegal fentanyl. So is it the illegal fentanyl that you want to be discussing about a 23-year-old getting killed, killing himself? No. It's the fact he got caught up on the pain concept because he got surgeries he never needed. That's your answer.
That's
The
my
answer
life.
is a 23-year-old kid is having chronic pain. You don't think there's a problem with that?
Yeah. I mean, I've had pain my whole adult life.
Yep. But Tucker Carlson being the schmuck that he is, because it's all a game. It's all a game. I don't care if you are the commentator on TV. I don't care if you're the politician. I don't care if you're the medical person. Chronic pain is a $700 billion a year industry in the United States. It's the biggest portion of the medical budget. $400 billion is cardiovascular disease. $400 billion. $700 billion is pain. If I'm right, and 98% of cases are muscular, if this ever gets out, no more MRIs, no more orthopedic surgeries, no more neurological surgeries. Listen, no more podiatry. You don't need orthotics. That's a lie. It's been insane from the beginning. No more braces, no more medications, no more physical therapy. I could literally bust the American economy if this ever. But in the meantime, I would stop people from killing themselves, and I would allow them to have the lives they choose.
Well, if you could do that for me, that would be amazing.
It's no problem. Watch, I'm going to start right now. Gluteus medius muscle.
So you're saying what I feel right now in my leg is not because my back is affected.
Has nothing to do with your back. It's retarded. So let me ask you this. You know how you said you can't weight bear on that leg, right?
Yeah.
Is that because your back is something at your back?
Yeah.
Is
No, because the pain in my leg is so severe.
And is it possible that the pain is due to weakness? Maybe you strained your muscle because it's weak, because you haven't weight bear.
Absolutely.
Oh, so if it's weakness, and we see, I guarantee you right now, your pelvis isn't level. We're going to find one side of your pelvis is higher than the other. So you have an alteration of posture right now. You're having pain, and you have an alteration of posture. And I'll ask you to single leg stand. There's no chance in hell you're going to single leg stand on that leg, right? So you have a decreased functional capacity. So we have pain at the same time of altered posture, at the same time of decreased function. What is the joint tissue that's associated with that pain, decreased posture, decreased function? It begins with an M. Muscle. It's muscle, right? So I don't understand. I want to go to the dickhead who's telling you it's your back and say, how do you account for his altered posture? The herniated disc. The herniated disc is altering his posture. Is that you want to tell me that? Explain the mechanism. Just explain the mechanism. Tell me how that happened. Oh, he can't weight bear. Explain what that means. Oh, it's gravity. Well, I don't understand. The disc is on his spine and he's got two legs. So I don't understand. How is the disc affecting the left leg, but not the right leg? What does that mean?
Just the left leg too.
What's that?
It's just my left leg.
Right, not the right leg. So I don't understand. How is the disc, which is in your spine, which if it should be affected by both legs, if it's a disc, how come it's only affecting your left leg? None of it makes sense, man. None of it makes sense. It's all dog
Wait a
shit.
second. So you're saying is that the problem was the disc, I feel it on both legs.
If the herniation was centralized in the back, yeah, you would feel it in both legs. Here's what you also have to understand. You see severe weakness. Your primary problem right now is you can't weight bear on that leg.
Right, my leg is atrophying, my left
Right.
leg.
And you can't weight bear, right? Functionally, you said you couldn't stand, right?
Right.
Now, if you look at your disc herniation, it's backwards. It's posterior. It goes backwards and it impinges what they keep telling you are your nerve roots.
Exactly.
Okay. Those nerve roots, the part of the nerve root that comes posteriorly is the sensory aspect. At every level that of the nerve roots that come out have a sensory aspect and a motor aspect, right? If I severed that nerve, I would make certain muscles be paralyzed. You do need nerve innervation, okay? So if this is your disc and this is the back of the disc, this is the front of the disc, what happens is that the front of the disc closer to the spinal cord, there's a part that comes out here. And then if this is the back, it joins together with this part. This is the sensory part. This is the motor part. The disc herniation is here. It's here.
Right.
It's always posterior. So how is it affecting the ventral part, which is this part that affects the ability to create motor output, for muscle output? It's not. It's impossible. Again, completely illogical dog shit. If you know things like what I know, if you understand the anatomy of the body in a very peculiar way, right? So everything about what they're saying has no basis of logic. Under analysis, it crushes, it crumbles. But you understand, you don't know this. And you just look at them and say, what you have now is nothing more than an issue of trust. That's it. You have no sense that they know what they're talking about. Shit, they failed 7 times already. So by this point, everyone should be trying to figure out that it ain't working so good, right? So all you have is trust at this point, faith, right? I don't buy faith. When you come to me, I am going to break this down at such a level of minutia that you're going to say, you want to know something? The next person that comes along in pain, I can analyze them and figure it out. That's what this is about. So I can assure you irrefutably, your symptoms have nothing to do with your back.
Wow.
That was a lie from the beginning. And by the way, if there's a question of who's this schmuck who's saying this, okay, I could just be a guy who talks. Oh, that's right. I've treated 15,000 people over 30 years with something like a 96 to 97% success rate. People have literally come in, limped in, and walked out. I've had people, I've been doing this by Zoom for 6 years, 7 years before there was Zoom. I do this with people all over all over the world. I've probably treated people in 20 countries. Still, 100% success rate with that.
Wow.
The difference between me and everybody else is that I'm using a method I created. I never bought into the existing system from the point I had graduated.
Do you ever hear of Dr. Sarno?
Of course I do.
All right, so I'm a follower of his books. I
Yeah.
believe
So
that-
let's talk. You want to let's discuss that. Okay. So Dr. Sarno says that your pain is actually not physical in nature at all. That in
Right.
fact, it's from your head and it's from a repressed emotion.
Right.
Okay. So that repressed emotion is presenting itself in your left leg. So I would ask you, is the implication that your right leg is okay with that situation? Your mommy didn't give you a lollipop when you were 6, and now your left leg is really pissed off about it. So what he wants me to believe is that your right leg is comfortable with that?
Very well put.
I am a logician. You have to understand. Somebody comes to me and says, oh, you know what your problem is? You're older. It's old age. Old age is catching up to you. Okay, if you want to make that statement, then by definition, it would say whoever is your age or older must have the exact same symptom.
But they
Is
don't.
that true? Can you see
No.
that? No.
No.
Therefore, that's a lie. And let's not talk this bullshit misinformation. That's a dog shit term. You know what's a real term? You're full of shit. Or it's pure fact. So for a guy like me, everything in life is black and white. Black and white. Science, not science. That's how I do this. And you have to understand, if you know Barry, Barry didn't believe a word that I said. When I first told her, she had pain on one side of her body, and I said the problem was the cause was weakness on the other side. She said, "I fucking mind. I'd possibly be. Are you nuts? My pain is on my right side. It's got to be my right side." I said, "No. Just like you, at some point, you will end up. If you keep going like the way you're going, you're going to end up with pain on your right leg. Because you're fully weight bearing. Instead of having 50% of your body weight on one leg, 50 on the other, you right now have a good 80, 90% on your right leg.
That's right.
That's a load greater than it was designed to take. So at some point, it's going to break down. The danger in a case like yours, which I've treated, is what happens now when that right leg breaks down and you don't have a left leg to fall back on. Now you're going to become bedridden. Now you're in a real deep state of shit. And that's what happens. It's a progression, right? So, you know, these people say, you're full of shit. And then I say, listen, man, it could just be words. I could be an asshole. I could be 100%, but try it. Let's just follow the process. I'm not looking for long, 3-4 weeks. If I'm wrong, we walk out. You say I'm an asshole, good luck, go on your right. But if I'm right, in 3 to 4 weeks, I look for results. Like today, you're going to stand, you're going to walk better. I assure you, you're going to feel better today. It's not even a question. But I'm looking for like full obvious return of function in 3-4 weeks.
Walking in the morning. I could play tennis. I could have a life.
Yeah, you're going to have 100% full return of function.
And fences.
100% return of function.
Wow. That's really something. For 30 years, I've been living this lie.
Because, right, that's right. So here's what you have to understand. I have people in the emotion and spiritual decline. I've taken this on personally. That's the reason I got divorced and lost a decade with my child. Was you would come in to my facility and say this to me, and I somehow, because I had a lot of emotional problems as a child, I would take on your pain, and it would fester in me, and I'd like be, I can't let this guy be like that. So at night, I would stare at a wall for 4 or 5 hours at a time and say, and let me think about what he's saying. Let me see if I could analyze this. What does he present? Okay, let me see if I can come up with it. Then the next day, I'd come in and I'd say, okay, let me see if this, and hopefully it would work. And we'd get that guy button, boom, he'd be, and then it was the next person, and the next person, the next person. And that's what happened to me. And so this is not a job. This is not a career. This is not an occupation. This is some sick fucking quest I've been put on. A higher power has chosen me to know an information that nobody in the world knows. No one knows anything I've just said to you. You could Google, is the MRI baseless? You will only find one person in the world saying that. And I have all the evidence. I am 100% right. Anyone saying the yacht, it's only me. And so I feel like I'm the chosen one who's been given this. Now I must be a conduit to all that seek it so they could be out of pain. And I truly believe we are going to create a people's revolution. The only way the medical establishment is going to stop this is if they're forced to stop it. I'm talking full-blown people's revolution. There's got to be demands. There's got to be congressional hearings. We need to bring, I want to know who was the person in the FDA that authorized the MRI to be used to diagnose the cause of pain. You know what it was really created for in the 1970s? To find tumors in the brain. It was never designed for this. But you got to understand how many people present with an indication they have tumors in the brain. Not many. And this thing costs $1 million. So we got to get our bang for our buck. Okay, let's just say, you know, I noticed it shows herniated discs. Okay, so let's start using it on people who have pain. Oh, well, there's lots of them. That's what happened. That's how sick this is. So,
you told somebody who spent 30 years, 7 surgeries, didn't work. I went through the opioid, addiction.
Mm-hmm.
I'm out of that world. I've had to change so many parts of my life. I live with borders, so I'm open-minded to anything.
Yeah.
So I'm 100% with you.
Good. So right? And we're going to just talk about what your symptoms are right now. Pain at the side of the thigh, pain in the groin, pain in the front of the thigh. That's your primary symptoms.
All right.
All right, my friend. Here's the beginning. Here's your indoctrination into the asthma thing. Here is a picture of the side of your pelvis.
Mm-hmm.
This is a muscle called the gluteus medius muscle.
Right.
This is a muscle called the piriformis muscle. Do you know what that yellow thing is right there?
No.
That's your sciatic nerve.
Okay.
This is your spine. This is your sacral spine. That's your lumbar spine. 1993, the reason you had your symptom was because your glute med strained. I'm going to explain what it does. This muscle, which sits right next to it, tried to help because this one broke down. This muscle then thickened and impinged on your sciatic nerve. That's why you had symptoms down your leg. Sciatica, which you will be told is coming from your spine, is actually, in almost all cases, the result of the piriformis straining, thickening, and impinging on the nerve. It is a muscular cause creating a neurological symptom.
Wow.
Okay? Now, this premise comes from this gluteus medius muscle. Same thing. It's still the same cause of your symptoms. Okay? So just to end this discussion, how do I know that sciatica can't be coming from your lumbar spine? Because remember how you talked about every nerve root comes out of here?
Right.
Nerve root. Well, all those nerve roots eventually form nerves, right? Right behind this piriformis, if you looked at your pelvis, there's an opening there. That's where the sciatic nerve begins. So from this point where my finger is, that's the nerve. Above it are 7 nerve roots. So if you're having a sciatic symptom, which is pain down the back of the leg, anywhere below the knee, you have to impinge on the nerve within its path. The path is from here in the butt to the back of the knee. Anything above that, you haven't developed the nerve yet. It's just nerve roots. So dickheads who have been trained to say this are telling you, oh, you know how you have that impingement of your L3 nerve root, L3-4 or L4-5 nerve root? That's kind of the same as impinging on the nerve because each one of those makes up the nerve. So impinging on the nerve root's kind of like impinging on the nerve. It's kind of the same. And you're like, okay, if you say so. Here's what I'm going to give you logic. There's this river, and there are 7 tributaries that run into that river. And a bunch of beavers decided they're going to block one of those tributaries. Does that stop the river? No, of course not, because there's 6 other tributaries. So clearly, a tributary is not the same as a river. A nerve root is not the same of a nerve made up of 7 nerve roots. It's the same thing. That's
Right.
the great lie. Okay? So now you know sciatica. I don't do this just for you. You're going to have friends, family members, co-workers, all in the same boat as you. And somehow a conversation is going to come up. And they're going to say, you know what? I'm scheduled for surgery for my back. And you're going to say, fuck no, you're not. Not after you hear from this guy, you're not. And that's what this is about. I want you, and you're going to get better very quick. This ain't going to be hard. And then I need people to become disciples of this. They have to tell others. And so the only way I can have that happen is to educate you. All right. Now, let's look at this muscle. This is your pelvis, and this is your left hip joint. You see it? Pelvis, hip joint, muscle attached to both. Okay. Now, let's say this is your left leg, and this is your right leg. And right now, when you're weight bearing, what's happening? Gravity's pushing down on you. So there's a vertical force down, and your legs are in the way of that. So your skeleton is pushing up against the gravitational force pushing down. So you're standing, right? What happens when you take your right foot off the floor? Well, gravity's still pushing down, but your skeleton isn't in a way to support it anymore, right? Because your foot's not on the floor. So how do you stand? Look at this muscle. It's attached from the pelvis to the hip. What if I was to take this part and pull it down that way? If I was to do that, it would take my pelvis on the left and pull down. And what would it do on the right? It would pull the right side of the pelvis up, right?
Right.
See it? Here's my hand. I'm pulling my pelvis towards my hip on the left, and it makes the pelvis on the right side go up. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Here's your pelvis. It's one piece. If I take the left side of it and pull it down, it pulls the right side up. So as you take your right foot off the floor, you get this suspension force being created on the right. So that suspension force is pulling up, and with your right foot off the floor, enough suspension force allows your pelvis to remain level. You're balanced without your right foot on the floor because the left glute med pulled your pelvis down. Does that make sense based on what I just explained to you?
So your left leg stays on the floor and your right leg comes up.
Right. You can stand on your left leg without your right foot on the floor because your left glute med contracts, pulling the pelvis on the left down towards its connection to the hip. And if you pull, this is one uniform piece, is your pelvis. If I pull the left side of my pelvis down, the right side goes up.
Got it.
Right? So as I contract my glute med on the left, I'm creating a suspension force, an upward force on the right. And if it's enough of a force to support my body weight, now I'm balanced and I can stand on my left leg without my right foot on the floor.
Wow.
So
Yeah,
just so you could understand, everybody talks about, oh, what are the great advancements in human history that allowed us to be human? And everyone says, oh, the wheel, fire. It is the advancement of the gluteus medius that allows us to stand on two legs. If you watch, and I had figured this out, and I said to my daughter, you know, it's a Mitchell Yost, the schmuck in the world, has just figured out really what the greatest advancement in humankind was. It was the advancement, the thickening, the development of the pelvis, and the thickening of the glute med to allow us to stand up, because without standing up, you don't have arms to make tools and fire and everything else, right? So I said, let's go to the zoo and let's look at an ape. And sure as shit, you go and look at an ape and you'll see its pelvis is completely small in comparison to its torso. And if you watch them, they can stand on on their front two legs as well. And all of a sudden, for about 5 or 6 steps, they're going to look like this.
Right.
And then they're going to have to get down. So now when you go out and you walk around and look at old people who had hip replacements, you're going to see they walk like this.
Right.
That's weird. That looks just like the ape. Oh, that's right. That's because the ape doesn't have developed enough gluteus medius to keep them up and to allow them to walk while their pelvis is level. Those poor people got hip replacements, never knowing it was due to weak hip muscles, and now they're doing the same thing.
One question.
Yeah.
When I'm in pain, when I reach up like this,
Yes.
up, it hurts going up. When I come back down, it relieves the pain somewhat.
Right. Well,
Does
that's
anything?
partly because I imagine that I'll find out, one of your pelvis is not level. Most likely now your right side is much lower than the left. And as a result, if that pelvis goes up, right here is your lower back muscle called your QL. It attaches from the bottom of the rib cage to the top of the pelvis.
Right.
If this goes up like this and this goes down, you're shortening the distance between the pelvis and the rib cage. You're shortening your lower back muscle. So all you're doing is stretching your lower back muscle. And then
Right.
you go down. Sure, yeah, okay. It makes you feel better. It's temporary, but at least you're getting some sort of relief in your lower.
Exactly.
Right. Okay. So far, now you understand the theoretical basis of the gluteus medius muscle. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So if this muscle were to strain, I'm guessing that would cause pain on the side of your pelvis. Oh, that's right, where you're complaining of your pain.
Right.
Oh, and that's right, you can't single leg stand because it's weak. Oh, that's right, your pelvis is altered in height because it can't keep your pelvis level. Boy, that starts to sound very similar to your situation. versus some arbitrary nonsense about some disc that couldn't possibly be creating a pain. You know, yesterday you said, I've been through 7 surgeries. What you don't understand is nobody has analyzed you this way. And
No,
that's the problem.
all they've done is take an MRI and said, boom, boom.
So far, because I want to go slow, you got to understand this. And this
I'm
doesn't have to
getting-
be, my suggestion to you is once a week for maybe the next 3 weeks, 4 weeks, we do a session. I make sure you're doing this to make sure you're going. You must understand your situation. You cannot be a person who just says, who's one of those people who say, just get me fucking better. I don't care. Just get me. That can't be you. You're too deep into this shit. You really need to be protected. So if anything ever happens in the future again, you can't succumb to the system anymore.
Absolutely.
Okay? So I want you to
The
understand
system
this.
doesn't exist. The system is surgery or pills.
Correct.
Period.
That's
That's
right.
it.
So far, do you get the glute med concept? What
Yes.
it does, how it works, right?
Yes. You get
So
it?
just so you can see in real life. So there's my feet.
Right.
There's my feet. They're both on the floor. Gravity's pushing down. I take my right foot off the floor and I'm still standing. How am I still standing? It can't be my skeleton anymore. My foot's off the floor, right?
Right.
It's because my glute med is taking my pelvis on this side, driving it down. And if it drives it down enough, I keep my center of mass over that foot and I can support myself.
Right.
So now you can see it pictorially what's happening. If I was to cut away my skin right here, you would see that is the muscle that's contracting to allow this to happen. Okay?
Got it.
Okay. So that's strained. So if you watch you're going to see that every time you try to put your left foot, take your right foot off the floor, this is what's going to happen. I'm going to keep falling to my right. Okay?
Mm-hmm.
Now, I'm telling you now, we're probably going to find that your right hip is lower. I'm going to show you another muscle.
Should I put pillows on the floor?
Sartorius.
After the surgery, my left leg was so weak, I'd fall down.
Yeah, sick. Okay, now look at this muscle.
Okay.
So this muscle attaches from the outside of your pelvis, runs into the groin, around the quad, and then attaches at the inside of the tibia, your lower leg bone, on the inside below the knee. See this?
Mm-hmm.
You're describing pain right here.
Right. Exactly.
Oh, that's weird. Seems to be along the path of that muscle. That's odd. So I guarantee you, if I ask your wife to press in your groin, she'd probably shoot you off that chair.
Can I do it?
Yeah. See that? Doesn't
Yeah.
that kind of look like what you're talking about, your pain?
Exactly. Exactly.
Then you describe the fact that your pain is also in the front of your thigh and where she pressed. That's your quad.
Right. That's where the numbness is.
Right. So the numbness is because the quad has thickened so that the microcirculation and nerves that run through there are being compressed by the strained quad. That's why you have numbness there. So that'll come back once we get this healed and we get the knotting out of it. All right? So here's your glute med. Here's your sartorius muscle. Here's your quad. The glute med strained. It's now caused this point to get closer to this point, which is why this is knotted and strained. And because you haven't been able to weight bear, you strained your quad severely. And that's also this muscle, if you notice it attaches over here, it bends the knee. Well, it has to maintain its length by having the quad, which straightens the knee, be strong enough. But your quad's for shit. Okay?
Mm-hmm.
So you basically have a strong quad, strong sartorius, strong glute med. That's it. That's your problem.
Can you say that again? I have a what?
Strained quadricep muscle, your
Right.
front thigh, strained gluteus medius muscle, the muscle on the side of your pelvis, and a strained sartorius muscle, the muscle that's running into your groin.
Okay.
So now let's prove it. Stand up. So I just gave you a bunch of theory that could
Yeah.
be completely wrong, complete dog shit. Oh, unless your body proves that I'm right. Okay.
Yeah.
Can you
So-
see me?
Yeah, I need to see the camera lower. Make the camera lower. Good. Oh man. First off, you won't put any weight on that left leg. Now, put your hands on your pelvic rims, on what you would think are your pelvis, right? There you go. Make sure you can put your webs over on top of the bone. Right? You got it? Yeah, you got to find that point at which you can put those webs into the bone.
I'm on it.
Okay, good. And you would see your left hand is higher than your right hand substantially.
Yes.
Right? You see that?
Yeah.
Ah,
What did I say would happen if the glute med was weak and couldn't support you? I told you theoretically that a person's right hip would be lower than their left.
yeah.
That's weird. In application, my God, your right hip is lower than your left. That's very odd. Okay, now let's try this. Stand on your right foot. Good job. Good. Stand on your left foot. Whoops. Which way do you keep falling?
Right.
Oh, that's right. You keep falling to your right. What did
Yeah.
I say would happen if your glute med was weak and the hip fell to that side? Your center of mass is going to move to your right, and you're going to have to put your right foot down. That sounds like exactly what would happen if you have a strained glute med. You see how everything is right there, man?
Oh, man, I did.
It's clear as day.
Oh, yeah.
Okay? Everything is exactly as it should be. You just have a strained glute med, strained sartorius, strained quad, man. Piece of cake. All right, so let's see you walk. Let's see what walking looks like now.
All right. You move-
No, go all the way down. Go all the way to the door.
Yeah,
Go all the way to the door. There you go.
Is this chair in the way?
Yeah.
yeah, that's right. Try to go around the chair, and then we'll see.
I'm with the chair.
Oh, now he's lifting. Okay.
Yeah, that's good. That's even better.
All right, go ahead, go all the way to the doorway.
Yep.
Now walk.
Okay, I'm sorry. What's your wife's name?
Fran.
Fran. Look at the time he stands on his legs. Does it look like he stands on his left leg a shorter period of time than on his right leg?
Absolutely, he limps.
Because he has decreased weight bearing.
Right,
That would be what would happen if you have a strained quad and a strained glute med, right?
right.
Also, does it look like he ever has his shoulders equal distance over his left leg and his right leg, or is it all to the right?
Never, he's always to the right. I always tell him, stand up straight, stand up straight.
Right. Because he has decreased weight bearing on the left.
Right.
Yeah.
Compensation, is that what they call
Correct. That's right. Your body's compensating. So everything you're showing is representative of weakness. Why does the medical establishment believe that weakness is always neurological? Why can't it just be you're weak? I don't understand this part. This is the part that I am confounded by. And the answer is because it's a cult. The
They
medical
didn't
system
ask
is
me
a
to
cult.
walk. These doctors would look at an MRI and diagnose me from an MRI without ever touching me or seeing me.
Right. It's a straight cult, man. It's literally a straight cult that's existed for 40 years and people are dying from it. And it's just perverse. So now at this point, would you and Fran acknowledge that what I'm saying seems to kind of make sense, not just from a theoretical perspective, but seems to relate to exactly to what your body is presenting?
Oh, absolutely.
Okay.
It's very simple to understand.
Right. Good. So do you have a resistance band?
Yeah.
Okay. What do you got? Let's see what you got.
I bought a whole kit, so he would.
Oh,
have-
good.
Yeah.
Awesome. So Fran, just so you know, this is being recorded.
Good.
So after this, tomorrow, I'm going to send this to you and you guys can look at this. And I mean, I understand what I say. There's a lot to what I'm trying to say, a lot of debunking of stuff. So that's why I do these recordings so that then you have a chance to look at it and make sure you start to, it starts to saturate and make sense. It really needs to make sense for everyone to, benefit from this stuff. So
Yeah,
perfect.
extra light, medium, and what's that one?
Light.
Light.
Okay.
Extra
All right.
light, Aubrey?
What's that?
We have extra light and we have light.
Okay, well, we're gonna
Heavy.
figure out what's best for you. So I'm gonna move my computer over to a chair and set up, and then we're gonna show you how to do these exercises. And I am telling you now,
Chair as well?
yeah, you need a chair and you need to be near a door and a door in a frame. When we're done with this, you are gonna walk very different. Okay?
All right,
I'm gonna move you over. All right, hang on.
all right. I gotta move too.
Mhm.
Where do you want me to put this, friend?
Just unplug it and put it right there.
Testing 1, 2, 3. Okay.
Sit down, I'll get it. There you go.
Oh, it's the best with the sun coming in.
It's fine, you can see them. I think you should try off the light, to start with.
Okay. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna take this band and we're gonna make a knot. And I'm really thinking use as lighter resistance right now as you can, because I'm really gonna be worried about how weak he is.
Right,
We'll see as we go.
this is the extra light, just on with.
And so you got a nice loop there. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take that knot and I'm gonna put it in a door. And so it's in the door at the ankle height, very low to the door.
Okay. Got that.
And then I'm gonna put the back of my chair against the area so that my left foot is in line with the band.
Wait, this way.
And then I'm gonna take my foot and I'm gonna put my toes in the inside of the band around my toes.
Take and do, put it around my toes.
In front of you.
All right, like this?
Watch me now. So now I'm gonna sit back and be fully relaxed.
Oh, wait, you're up against the chair? I mean, you're up against the, wait, you gotta turn your chair.
Until I'm about 10 degrees short of full extension, and then I'm coming back. So I'm just extending my leg and coming back. Extending my leg and coming back, okay? So let me see you try to do that. Turn the camera down so I can see.
You gotta get the chair in the right position. You gotta put it through the chair. Okay. Look up.
You wanna have that chair coming straight out. Oh, Fran, you could put it in the other side of the door as well. On the inside. That might be more comfortable for him to be on his left side. Yeah, you can put it through the hinge side.
Ah.
Let me lower this.
Ow. Now I have a concussion. Go ahead. Sit down. It's straight then.
Okay, just lower the camera if you can so I can see. So you have to have your chair, that band has to be going through the chair,
Oh, through the chair.
inside of those legs. So you gotta have your chair, move your chair closer to the left, to that column. Move the chair so it's right next to that column.
Okay.
Right. There you go. Get the chair all the way to, that's it. There you go. That's it.
And now you want him here?
Yes, just like that. That's perfect. So now he sits down. He probably is going to need his shoes on. I don't think he's going to be able to do that without shoes on.
God, he'll do anything to get me on my knees.
Paul, she gets a treat for doing this for you.
Well, I got a great
What's your
wife.
toes? On his toes, right?
Yeah, if he can't do that, if it stays on the front of the shoe, I'm just worried about it sliding up. But if you can get it on the toes, whichever. Let's see what happens. All right, Paul, sit back. Make sure you're sitting back, relax. Now slowly try to straighten that out. There you go. Good. Now come back.
On his ankle, is that okay?
Yeah, that's fine.
Okay.
That's it. 3,
Good exercise. I might stop doing that.
4, 5,
I actually feel good.
6, 7, 8, 9, 10, and rest, relax. Now, you see how that's coming up? That starts to come up when you fully straighten, when you bring your leg up fully, like this, that's gonna ride up. So try to, as you're putting your leg out, keep your foot running along the floor. Okay? Now, let's talk about that level of resistance. Stop a second. Let's talk about that level of resistance. You did 10 repetitions. If I said, could you do an 11th or 12th, do you think you could have?
It was starting to hurt, but I probably could have, maybe. I don't know.
Okay, but you don't think you could have done 15 or 16, right? There was no way.
No way. No way.
Okay, good. So that means that's probably the right resistance level. That's called an exertion level of 8, 80% of your maximum effort. So we use this thing called the perceived exertion scale, 0 to 10. 10 feels like you're going to tear a muscle. 0 is nothing. It's not enough to say that you're doing an exercise. The exercise is just allowing you to isolate your quad here. But we want to make sure that the quad is adapting to an appropriate resistance that allows the muscle to get stronger in the fastest period of time, because that's what you need. So we want to work at an exertion level of 8, which means that if I said, could you do an 11th or 12th, you'd say maybe, but it would be hard. You stay with this exertion level until you say, I know I could do 15 or 16. If you get to that point, now you need to regain the level of resistance. It's got to be made
You can't
hard.
rush it, right? You can't rush it.
Right. Oh yeah. This you got to just, it's the feedback from the body. It's going to tell you. So when he thinks he could do 15 or 16, now we're going to move the chair away from the door about 2 inches. That's going to increase tension on the band, and now it's going to get harder again. So it's going to be to where he can't do more than 11 or 12. He stays there until he can do 15 or 16. Then he moves the chair away from the door about 2 inches, increases the resistance again, stays there until he can do it for 15. That is what is known as progressive resistance. The muscle gets stronger and makes more muscle mass as you apply more and more resistance to it. Eventually, you're going to apply so much resistance that the muscle mass is going to have developed enough that the force requirement of you to walk or stand or sit will be equaled by the force output of your muscle, to where now you're fully functional with no symptom. That is the principle by which you are doing this. Does that make sense to both of you?
Yes, absolutely.
Okay. All right. So now sit back. Let's try another set of 10. Good. Good. Good.
No, you seem to be coming up a little bit higher. A little bit.
Good. Don't let that band come up. 9. Good. One more. 10. Good. Rest. Take a rest. Now, let's talk about how much time do we rest in between each set. So as you're doing that exercise, the byproduct of muscular contraction is lactic acid. Lactic acid in the blood will turn the pH of your blood acidic. You only can have enough of a balance of pH between 7.2 and 6.9. You go below 6.9, you're dead. So the body will not allow high levels of acid to develop. So what happens is, as you're doing the contraction, the microcirculations compress. You then stop, and the circulation opens, bringing blood into the muscle, grabbing the lactic acid, bringing it to the liver, and converting it and getting rid of it. It takes about a minute for all that lactic acid to be depleted out of your muscle. That lactic acid also impedes the ability of a muscle to create force. So if you don't wait long enough, you don't have 100% of your muscle mass working on the next set again, so you could potentially strain yourself. Plus, you're not getting the most out of pushing that resistance. So you always wait 1 minute in between each set. I don't care if you use a timer, I don't care what you gotta do, you gotta wait the minute. This is gonna become more and more important as you start using more and more resistance because you're gonna build more and more lactic acid. Just so you understand, I lift weights. I've been lifting weights for 36 years. I put 60 pounds of muscle on. I squat 405. I straight leg deadlift 405. I wait 5 to 10 minutes in between every set I do. I have to know there's no lactic acid in that muscle. Okay? All right, try one more set now. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, and rest. Relax. Fran, if you can, just help them take that off. There you go. Now, shockingly, stand up. Try walking around and putting weight on that leg.
Wow. Wow.
Oh my God, it's a Portugal moon. What do you know? How bizarre is that?
I mean, I have a little pain, but no.
What a strange concept.
Wow.
Pretty good, right?
Fucking great.
How
You
many
need to
times a
stick
day
with
does,
me. This ain't gonna take long, trust me. It ain't that fucking hard.
how many times a day does he do this?
Oh God. There's that false sense that you need to do a lot of this. You don't. You're only gonna do this 1 time, 3 times a week. Monday, Wednesday, Friday, or Tuesday, Thursday,
You
Saturday.
get it?
Wow.
3 times a week, that's all.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So let's
That's
discuss this
done.
concept. What's gonna make him have normal function? He needs more muscle mass. He needs
Right.
more strength. So what you have to understand, and this is the confusion, it's not how many times I make the muscle contract. It's not how often I make the muscle contract. What makes a muscle respond is how much resistance am I trying to make the muscle adapt against so that it then responds by making more muscle. So right now, when he just did that, he didn't make muscle mass. He actually created micro tears in the muscle.
Right.
The muscle got broken down because it was asked to adapt to a resistance it wasn't used to. The next 24 to 48 hours after this, an inflammatory response comes. So now blood comes into the muscle, bringing proteins, and it heals those micro tears, creating more muscle mass. So if you try to strengthen during the inflammatory response, the high probability is you're going to strain the muscle. That's why you do the exercises every other day, never 2 days in a row. Okay? So it's not a question of, oh, am I better doing the exercises 6 times a week or 6 times a day? Well, if you've already caused a micro tears and inflammation develops the first time, every time you're trying to do that following it, there's a high probability you're going to strain the muscle. You're not going to make micro tears. You're going to make macro tears, which lead to scar tissue. Okay? So what we're trying to do, the general philosophy of my understanding of weightlifting, which has allowed me to put 60 pounds on, is I beat the living piss out of that muscle 1 time and then allow it to heal. That's what this is about. And all you have to do is 3 times a week. Okay?
Perfect.
Just that one exercise.
No, I'm going to give you like 4.
Oh, okay.
But it's only 4, right? It's not that much. 45 minutes to an hour, you should be done with this shit. Ain't a big deal. All right, now we're going to work what from 1993 has been the cause of your problems, a weak gluteus medius muscle. This is the most important exercise any human being on the face of the earth should do. There ain't nothing more. A level pelvis means the distance that your feet have to travel to the ground are equal. Therefore, your weight bearing 50% on each side. It means that your spine is held perpendicular to the ground. So for everybody has heard of scoliosis, scoliosis is not some arbitrary thing that happens. It's when a glute med is weak and you end up with your pelvis higher on one side. It shifts your spine to the side. You have to try to find your way back to center. That's what causes scoliosis. Lumbar scoliosis is 100% correlated or caused by weak glute medes. Okay? So everything above and below the body is related to a level pelvis. So this glute med, you have to have strong, equally balanced glute med for you to have a normal functional life. Okay? So I'm going to teach you how to do the exercise now. So we got that band in the same place. Oh, but this time, it'll be okay. So what I'm going to do, here's the band. I'm going to put both feet in the band. Okay, see my feet?
Yeah.
Okay, so I'm going to turn my left foot in slightly so it's pointed to 1 o'clock. I'm holding on to the chair. All my weight's on my right leg and my hand. And all I'm doing is I'm moving my left foot out, not crazy out. I'm moving it out until the outer portion of the ankle meets the outer portion of my hip. So look at this. It's maybe 3 or 4 inches. See? 3 or 4 inches. Then I put my foot down. Now I shift my weight. My pelvis is just shifting over until I put all my weight on my left leg, like I can take my right foot off the floor. And then I'm putting it back. So it looks like this. It's the exercise. Out, down, over, back. Out, down, over, back. Out, down, over, back.
I stand this way.
Put your left foot facing the
All right, so I'm standing here facing you. I'm lifting up my left leg and moving it out.
Where's the, make it low? I can't see where the band is.
Oh, I'm coming.
Oh, you're facing the wrong way. You got to be facing 90 degrees. You got to turn 90 degrees to your right. Move that chair in front of you so it's right. That's it. There you go. Good. Remember, you're always having to pull against the resistance. So your line of your leg moving has better be in the line of that band. Okay? So now turn your foot till it's pointed to 1 o'clock.
Just
Good.
the left leg.
Just the left leg. Now move the left leg to your left side about 3 inches and put your foot down. Now shift all your weight onto your left leg. Take it off the right leg. Good. Now don't move your right foot. You're just shifting your weight on. Move that right foot back. Good. Now move your left foot back to your right leg and start over. Good. Turn the left foot to 1 o'clock. Shift. Now, right. Good. Now shift your weight onto that left leg. You don't have to move your right leg. And now just move your left leg back. Good. Out, down, shift over, and back. You cannot shift over until that left foot is down. You can't shift. Look down at your right foot. Keep your nose over your right foot until that left foot is down. That's it. Yeah, you just did it. Now shift. Now go back. Now put your foot down and shift over. Get all the weight off that right leg. Stop stamping. You're moving your ankle over. Don't raise your leg. Just move it over.
Just slide it over like that.
That's it. And it doesn't look like, okay, put your foot down, move over. Put your left, what's that?
No,
No, I'm listening to you. Go ahead.
When you put that left foot down, look at this, what? When you put that left foot down, here, you need to make sure, watch my pelvis. It slides completely over. Look, if I want to take my right foot off the floor, I can. You're not getting over there enough. You're still weight bearing on that right leg. I need you to learn to weight bear on your left leg fully, or you'll never be able to take your right foot off the floor.
So I got my left leg turned to 1 o'clock.
Yes.
I'm moving it over.
Yeah, but you shifted already. You already moved all your weight over there. So keep your nose over your right foot. Just move your left foot over and put it down, but you're still weight bearing fully on your right leg. Then shift your weight over. It's 2 separate things. Nah, that's it. You just did it. Oh, but you're still shifting over, man. You're still shifting over.
just your leg.
Just the leg.
Yeah, Fran.
Yeah,
Okay, here's what you're gonna do. I'm gonna make you stop him from doing it. Stand to his left side.
okay.
You're gonna block him. So stand to his left side, face him, put both your hands on his left pelvis. Put your hands a little lower. No, face him. Put your hands on his left pelvis. So I can see. Right here, like this. Put your hands, watch me. Yeah, that's it. Now, you see how he's standing there? When he tries to move that left foot over, so help me, you don't let that pelvis move over.
Okay.
Put your left foot over. Move your left foot over. Go, put it over. Farther out, a little farther out. Now, release him and now shift your weight all the way over so it's all on. Now go back. Now, don't let him move while he's moving that left leg.
Okay.
Move the left leg, put your foot down. Now let him go and shift. Good. That's it. Go back.
That's the way you move. I have to push you hard.
Go. Left foot, down, now shift. So now you're starting to see these are two independent movements. Go back. You guys got to understand, your left glute med is for shit. It's really weak. So it's going to be telling your brain, use your right leg and do the work for me. You're tired?
No, it's just when I do it wrong, I create more pain. When I do it right, the pain goes away.
Okay, well, why don't we take a seat a second and rest? Let's take a break. Let's take a break a second. Sit down.
He said I was pushing too hard, but you told me to make sure he didn't move, right?
What he has to understand is that your brain, everyone's brain wants life to be easy for you. So I'm asking you to isolate a very weakened left side, left glute med. So what your brain is saying, weightlifting is counterintuitive. It doesn't make sense to the brain. Why are you asking me to push a weakened muscle? Why don't we just use the right leg? It's there, it's available. Why don't we just do that? So what it's doing is it's saying, just push yourself over with your right leg. So when Fran's got her hands there, Fran's saying to your brain, not so fast, man. You ain't gonna be able to do that. I'm not gonna let you do that. I'm gonna make you have to isolate that left glute med. For 30 years, you have not allowed, your brain has not allowed you to use your left glute med. The amount of mental re-education here is overwhelming.
Yeah.
It's overwhelming. This is real. Listen, man, this ain't no fucking game. This is not, it's fun and I joke around and stuff. This is serious, serious shit. You have to change that goddamn brain's mind about the idea of, oh, you still have your other right leg. You know, don't worry about your left leg's weak. Screw that shit. You need both. You want to play golf? You want to go upstairs? You want to dance? You want to jump? You need two legs. Your brain's got to get used to this. And it's hard. It's not easy. But we're going to work through this. We're going to make sure we're doing things correctly. And in the shortest period of time that you can't even imagine is possible, you're going to get your left glute med strong again. And you're going to have your life back. But this is very, very, this is tough stuff. It's very hard.
Well, the first exercise afterwards, I felt great. This one I must have been doing wrong because I'm in a lot of pain.
Yeah, you're struggling. So my suspicion also might be that's just too much. Is it too much resistance? Is it very hard for you to pull that over?
No, it's just it's reprogramming my brain. I guess I'm compensating for so long. I'm not used to just putting all the weight on my left leg.
Yeah.
As long as you don't blame me. I did what he said.
All right, we'll try it again.
Yeah, you ready? Take your time. This is by far the most significant exercise and muscle that exists in the body. And when it goes bad, it's very hard to get the brain to understand how to re-engage it back into life. It's very hard.
All right, so I'm standing like this.
So you have the bands all the way on you.
All the way what, on my legs?
Yeah.
Fran, just lower the camera so I can see his feet.
Yeah.
There you go. Okay.
Feel when I turn it into 1 o'clock, I can feel the strain right across here.
Yeah, so what's happening is that what that does is it begins to put a stretch on your glute med so that as soon as you start to step over, you can engage.
Let me understand. I'm not moving my right leg at all.
Correct.
All right.
Or your body. Just your foot.
Now shift over. Good. Now go back. Good. That's it. 2, 3. Do not shift until that foot's down. Just move that. That's it. 4. This is very hard to do. That's a boy. 5. That was a good one. Real good. 6.
1 o'clock.
7. 8.
Yes, I'm gonna stand up tall when I do this.
9. One more.
He's moving his hips a lot. Is he supposed to do that?
10. Good. I'm sorry, he's moving what?
Are they shifting the weight onto the left leg when I do this?
Yeah, after the foot's down, you shift all the way over. Yeah, as if you want to take that right foot off. He's got to learn how to stand on that left leg. You're done. That's 10. Rest.
You know, and I can't help but think while I'm doing this is, I must have gone for hundreds of physical therapy, and I never did any of these exercises.
Right. Now you understand why you never got better.
I mean, I would go to physical therapy and I couldn't wait to get out of there.
So I have a doctorate in physical therapy. I want physical therapy abolished. I want it abolished. I don't want you to have the option of going to physical therapy.
I mean, the only time physical therapy ever helped me was when I did it in the pool.
That's only because the water's warm and it's causing distensibility of tissue. When you got out of the pool, unless you planned on being a dolphin, it wasn't going to help you in the gravitational world.
Right. Okay, I got it.
I might sound very cold-hearted and very analytical, but when you've helped that many people wanting to kill themselves, I know how to cut to the point.
No.
I know what you need. I know what I want to get you, and we're going to make this fucking happen so much. I want it so badly that if I have to come down or up to you, I'll come. I don't give a shit. We make this work. It ends now. Today is the... I've come to people and they're so depressed and so demoralized. And they say, 30 years I've been trying to resolve my pain. No, you haven't. Today is day 1. This is the first day you've ever tried to resolve the cause of your pain.
Absolutely.
Day fucking 1, 30 years later.
Yeah.
That's reality. That's the hard code reality is the way you are. The good news is today's day 1.
They kept
That's
telling
the good
me
news.
my left leg kept atrophying was because of the weakness caused by my back, and no matter what I do, I couldn't build back the muscle.
It had nothing to do with the back. You strained some muscles. You then stopped weight bearing. Lack of weight bearing is called disuse atrophy. The lack of use caused the muscles to weaken. The further they weakened, the harder it became. The more you strained, the more pain you had, the less you did, the more disuse atrophy. You just went on a downward spiral.
Oh,
I could have stopped this in day 1, man, if you recognize it had nothing to do with your spine. That's the key. Forget your spine. That doesn't do with this shit.
I'm ready. I'm ready. That's 2. What's the third one?
Well, you got to do one more set.
Oh, okay. Let's do it.
Did you have less pain as you did the exercise?
Much less pain. After the first one, I was in terrible pain. Now I have less pain.
Good. Okay, good.
I was pushing you too hard.
No, I was doing it wrong. I kept lifting my right leg. It's interesting, the pain I feel when I turn my foot in.
That's the stretching of your gluteus medius muscle. Okay, now you're starting to step out way too far. Fran, put the thing down again.
Oh, sorry.
Just drop the camera. There you go. Go ahead. Start with your feet literally like, there you go, there you go. That's it, that's it. 1, good, yep. 2.
1 o'clock.
3, yep. When you lead with your heel out to start the movement, that really accentuates the use of the gluteus medius.
That's a total on 1 o'clock.
Looks good. Fine. Yep.
I was keeping the foot at 1 o'clock.
So basically what that's saying is lead out with your heel. Make the heel be the first part that steps out. Good.
The pain is actually lessening with each one.
9. One more.
Make sure you're not pushing over until that left foot's down. That's got to be down, then you shift. Good. All right, that's 10. Stop and sit down a second. Be careful getting out of that. And I'm going to show you something. Just take a rest a second. So, Fran, what you'll notice is as he just sat down and he was manipulating his feet, he actually spent a lot more time on his left leg. He kind of didn't hobble. You're going to see something pretty wild. Just wait a second. Just recover a little bit. Then you're going to walk around and you're going to suddenly see magically you can put a lot more weight on your left leg. It's not going to hurt. Okay, man. Try standing up and walking around.
Wow.
Look at the time frame. He's on his left leg now. It's equal to the right.
Absolutely.
His stance time is equal. You see that? You notice there's no hobble anymore?
No,
Yeah. You
Feel
look like
good.
your shoulders are
yeah,
back.
no, I feel good. I can actually do that. I'm not in that crouched over protective position.
Right.
Excellent.
So as you can see, if you understand the direct cause of a symptom and address the direct cause, the resultant is instantaneous. It's not this bullshit of, oh, you got back surgery now, it's 3 months in, and you're still having pain, and the guy says, well, it takes 6 months to a year to heal. What the fuck you talking about? You told me that this sticking out was causing my pain. You made this not stick out. Why isn't that resolving my pain now, today? Because it's not the cause. That's the answer. It's bullshit. Okay. Next, it's hip extension. I'm going to now take the band, and I'm going to make it, I want a smaller loop here. By the way, you guys are where, in New Jersey or New York?
Well, no, we're down at our house in Florida right now, but we're in New Jersey too.
Okay, so but you're in New Jersey. So you guys can accept me for how I am. Very crazy, obviously, very Brooklyn-y, New Yorky. You know what? I've been told that people from the Southwest are scared of me. This very upfront, aggressive attitude apparently gets them nervous. Funny. All right, you see how I made the loop really small, Fran?
Okay.
I want the loop smaller. Then I'm going to put it in the door at knee height. So it's up here. Okay? And this time, put this in on the handle, door handle side.
Okay.
Where in Florida are you?
Fort Myers.
Fort Myers.
Oh, you're on the West
The
Coast.
other side. He's on the left side.
Yeah, I'm in Jacksonville.
Where are you from originally?
Oh, Long Island.
Yeah, I'm saying.
Long Island.
I have a really, really bad accent.
There you go.
Now, put it on the door handle side.
Well, that would be the right side. Aren't we doing the left side?
Yeah, but this time he's gonna be facing the door. So now it's gonna be on the left side at knee height as if he was standing.
Okay. Knee height or?
Knee height, yeah. See where it is? Here's the door handle, halfway up there. Okay, good. Excellent. All right, now watch me. All right, so I'm going to take the band. I'm going to put my foot into the band. And now the band is just above my knee. Okay, so now I'm going to stick my butt back. And as I stick my butt back, it bends my knees and my shoulders drop. So I'm holding on to the door handle. And I'm going to have my left foot, I'm going to take it off the ground. And it's going to be, my lower leg is parallel to the ground. I'm starting with my knee facing the door. And I'm pretending like I'm kicking somebody with my heel at knee height. And my knee starts forward, but when it goes back, it just passes the floor. It doesn't have to go very far back. It's all mostly in front, a little behind. And it just looks like that. I'm kicking someone at knee height with my heel.
Yeah.
And the only thing that's moving is my left hip. It's gonna work my butt muscle. Gluteus maximus.
And face this way. That way.
All right, my left
Bobby
leg
knee.
through,
Yeah,
by my knee,
bob your knee.
and what do I do?
Bend forward and hold on to the door handle with your hands.
Yeah,
You're gonna hold on to the door handle to get you lower. There you go. Good. Both hands on that door handle. Both hands, hold on to it. Get stable. Now take your left foot off. Get balanced. Get that heel up a lot higher. You gotta be kicking. Fran's right behind you. You gotta kick her at knee height. Keep your foot up though. Don't move, put your foot down. There you go. There you go. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Good. Sit down. Well, if you want to sit down, sit down. If not, relax. You can stand. Whatever you want to do. It's up to you.
That didn't feel any pain.
Yeah, so this is working the gluteus maximus muscle. Remember how you said I start to hunch forward? The reason you're hunching forward is because you weight bear so little that the glute max, which creates hip extension and keeps your torso up, has weakened. So this is going to help you get yourself so your ear is over your ankle and you don't have a load in front of you that's going to make muscles have to support you. So what you kind of see is that one weakened muscle can cause other muscles to vary in how they're supposed to do things. And that's what leads them to break down. And that's where this cycle comes. One single breakdown of a muscle can cause everything else to break down.
Absolutely. Wow.
You see how this is just so easy for you to apply once you understand the theory behind it. Once you get these exercises down, you're gonna just blow through this. I hate to tell you, man, in about 3-4 weeks, you probably will be able to walk around. Yeah, it's not gonna be that hard.
So you think there's a chance I'll be able to play tennis or do some other things?
Yeah, you're gonna be able to do all that in just a question of time. I mean, certainly in 2 to 3 months, you certainly should be able to like jog and shit like that. I would imagine in 3-4 months, you should be able to play tennis. You go back to full. You tell me you want to climb Mount Everest. Let's condition you for it and do that. Whatever you want to do.
All right, I'm ready.
Ready? Good. Next set. Just no. Hold on a second. Get your butt back. Bend that right knee and get lower. Stick your butt back. Not your knee doesn't go. That's it. There. Stay there.
hold your other leg straight. There you go.
Keep that heel. You keep letting your heel drop. Keep it up. There. But you're moving your right leg. Your right leg doesn't move at all. You got to stay in one position.
You're not doing it right.
Just move the left hip. Just kick behind you back and forth. There you go. That looks better. There you go.
Up.
Up.
Yeah, there you go.
That's it. Just like that. That's it.
Yep.
That's good. That's far enough. You don't have to kick any further back. That's it. 2 more. 1 more. Nice job. Good. Sit down, relax. It's looking good, man. You're doing great.
Zero pain.
Yeah.
Since I did the first exercise, I actually feel the pain going down.
Yeah.
It's-
It's more than just that you're having less pain. It's your functional level is increasing. That's where the confusion lies, is that people disassociate the pain with the dysfunction. You want me to make you not have pain? I'll just tie you on a couch for a year. You won't have any pain.
No, that's
You
right.
will have no function, but you won't have pain. I could give you a rhizotomy. I could literally sever the nerves to your neck down. You won't have any pain. You just won't be able to function. I don't see that as the answer.
No, no.
You
I'm
gotta
not-
connect the pain and the dysfunction to the tissue responsible for both.
Remarkable. Remarkable.
Yeah, it's wild shit, man. Trust me, it's pretty wild.
So what happens? I do this every third day, every second day, and then eventually get to the more resistant bands, you know, from
Now you
extra
move your
life.
chair out, you go further out. Did you hear him before?
And these exercises I do every day the rest of my life.
Well, there'll be others that you have to do, but for now, this is addressing. So what's happening right now is you are symptomatic on your left leg. So by definition, it means there's tissue in distress on the left side. What happens when you're asymptomatic? Well, now that means that you have to assume your left leg is about the same strength as your right leg. So now what you want to do is you don't want to just accept that. Why don't you just now take the exercise and do it on both sides and progress the resistance on both sides, thereby increasing the force output of both legs so that your force requirements are never greater. You say, like someone like me. So if you look at the facility, I just opened this facility 3 months ago, 1,500 square feet of carpet tile. I laid it myself. I didn't have a clue how to do it. I watched a YouTube video and said, fuck it, I could do it. I'm built like a brick shithouse, for God's sake. I could lift a house if I wanted. That's how I want people to be. You don't have to get as big as me or crazy as me, but for God's sakes, if you want to do something, be able to do it. How old are you?
I gotta look at this guy again. He keeps saying that. Let me see. Stand up. Take off your shirt. Let me see.
Who, me? You want to see? I'll show you. Hold on a second.
Okay, let me see. You keep telling me. I want to see. Are you coming back naked?
I don't know.
Yeah, this is what I look like.
Oh, we got a picture. Okay. Nice.
Look at the size of my arms.
That's not you.
How old are you?
What are you talking about? That's me. 2 weeks ago. That's me.
Jesus, fuck with you. How old are you?
61.
Wow.
Yeah, this is how wide I look. Look at the width of my shoulders and then look at my waist. I have a 33, 34 inch waist. I have a 48 jacket.
Wow. Very good.
What if I told you I was 160 pounds? I was 160 pounds. I put on 60 pounds of muscle so far, 220 pounds now.
What's your
The
goal?
thing that I know is the basis by which I treat people.
This is great.
It's wild. My life, I think I'm being used by a higher power. My entire life has been a continuum of me reaching this point now. And now it's all about just creating awareness. Everyone should have the right to be out of pain, man. And this is the cause of pain for 98% of people. There you go. That's it. Don't let that heel drop. Keep your foot up. You see how he keeps dropping his heel as he comes forward? Yeah, that's better.
Oh, yeah.
That's good, man. Just like that. Good. You don't have to go that far back. You're starting to try to go too far back. That's far enough. Yeah.
I think that was 10.
That's 10. Yep. Stop. Take your foot out and watch. You're going to walk around. It's going to be even that much better. You need help? Sit down if you have to and then take it out.
No, I'm fine. I have no pain right now.
Now, look how nicely he's placing those feet. Look at that. Even step length. Look how nice that looks now.
No pain.
And you notice how much weight you're putting on your left leg now?
Doesn't seem any more. I mean, it doesn't seem like it's more than the right.
Yeah. Looks great now.
Helping. Progress.
Remember Charlie was doing that? Yeah.
Okay? I'm going to show you one more exercise now. Okay. So now I'm going to take the band and I'm going to go back to that bigger loop. So I made the bigger loop. Now I'm gonna put it in the door back at the bottom again.
On what side?
You're gonna put it, keep it on the, it's gotta be on the, hinge side again.
Okay. To the bottom, right?
Yep.
Okay. Done.
Okay, so now you're gonna have your chair facing 90 degrees to the band. And you're gonna put your foot in it's gonna be around your instep this time.
That's my right leg is the outside leg now.
That's right, so you're putting it around the left foot. Right? And it's around the instep. Now look, watch this. My foot, my knee and my hip are in one line. And only my heels are on the floor and my heels just under my knee. So I'm starting with my foot just outside the middle of my shin. And all I'm doing is look at this tiny motion I'm making. It's like a windshield wiper with my foot. And if you notice, my knee is not moving. I'm not doing this. That's moving my hip. I'm just moving my ankle. It's a tiny motion.
Like that.
And I'm going to start to feel a burning in my inner shin. That's the muscle that's supporting my arch.
Do I create tension with the band? Do I pull the band out
Yeah.
and just like
Just move your
this?
chair out a
Move
little
my
bit.
foot back.
Yeah, move your chair. Move your chair.
You see my foot? You saw it a little bit?
He can see it.
No,
Yeah, I see it.
There you can see it. Like this?
But do you see how he's moving his whole leg, Fran?
Yeah.
So that's telling me it's all occurring at the hip. So yeah, that's it. Hold this knee.
Don't move your knee.
No, you don't have to come in so far. Shrink that distance half. That's it.
That's all.
And don't put your foot down when it's out. It's got to stay up the whole time.
Yeah.
No. Keep your heel down. Your heel's down, and you're just rotating around your heel.
Just do.
But keep it small. There you go. Now you're doing it. That's it. That's it. Don't move that knee.
Just the foot. Look, just a little bit.
That's it. There you go. One more. Stop. Rest. So you should feel that working on the inside of the shin. You'll feel a burning there.
Not right now, I don't.
Okay, so you might need a little more resistance. Take a rest. Don't go yet. And what that does is that muscle runs along the inside of the shin, then goes under the foot, and it supports your arch. So for any person that ever comes to you who's gone to a chiropractor or a podiatrist and said, oh, you have a fallen arch, there's nothing you can do, you need an orthotic, pure dog shit. Don't mean nothing. That's pure bullshit. Your posterior and anterior tibialis support your arch. You can strengthen it right back and get your arch, no problem.
Right, so I create
It's just the toe. That's it. Back. Toe.
Good. Yeah, that looks good now. Nope, you're starting to move your knee again.
I did.
Don't move your knee. Like this with your foot. Just really little, small.
Yeah, keep it smaller.
Small.
There, that's it. That's big enough. That's all. There you go.
Here you go. You should definitely take yoga. What do you think about yoga?
Rest. That's it. So yoga is an activity like Pilates or running or aqua therapy, and they all require groups of muscles to perform them. So if
Right.
you have a weakened muscle or an imbalanced muscle, those cannot isolate that. And in fact, if they're weak or imbalanced, it's going to lead to compensation. So you're never going to address an issue if you're having a deficit. As the base of activity, if you have to understand, I am against no activity. I want everyone doing whatever they want to enjoy themselves. But you must understand the foundation of activity is having every muscle be strong and balanced.
Yeah.
And that can only occur through this method of strength training.
Great. Yes, that's true. You do need balance and all those other things.
So if you ever notice that even the teacher, think about what happens in yoga. If you don't do it the right way, they say, okay, here's an alternative. They modified it. As soon as you use the word modify,
Yeah.
it implies compensation.
Right.
And compensation means muscles are going to be worked in a way they weren't designed to. So that's not the answer. The answer is whatever muscle is not allowing you to do it correctly, fix the muscle. And you have to understand, I'm the only person saying this, and that's because I myself spent years understanding the laws of physics and applying it the way I know about weightlifting and muscle in a way there's no one in the world, because it's been designed mostly on me. Then I treated 15,000 people with this. This is a understanding that's derived. There's no curriculum that you could find this in. I literally made this up myself.
Wow.
Trust me, that's why I'm so fucked in the head, man.
Mhm.
You're moving your knee.
Am I?
Yeah, just little tiny moves.
That's it. That's all. There you go. Now, if you're not feeling that burning yet, move the chair out a little bit and see if you get a little more resistance. Good. Now try that. Let's see if you get that little burning now. Don't move your knee. You're moving your knee. That's it. That's it. There you go. There you go. Good.
I'm not getting anything in that burning here. I feel it here.
That's because you're moving your hip.
It's
Fran,
different.
hold his knee.
I know.
Make him not be able to move his knee at all. Make him just move from the ankle. That's it. There you go.
It's little tiny little. Yeah,
That's it.
I don't have to go so far. There you go.
Now I
Feel it?
Yeah.
And I feel the muscle in the hip. See?
Mhm.
Mhm.
That's 10. Stop. So when you do it right, then you do feel it, right?
Yes.
All right, man. Stand up and walk around. Watch how nice this feels.
No pain. Feel great?
So from now on, Fran, I
Yeah.
want him to take small periods of time during the day and let him walk back and forth, maybe like 5 or 6 times, whatever. You could progress it. But I want you to, Fran, I want you to go 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. And he has to make his steps match that.
Okay.
Before what he was doing, he was going 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, because he couldn't weight bear on his left leg, so he gets off of it quicker. He has to begin to get his brain to understand having an even step length is normal. And that means that the movement pattern, it takes like 21 days for his brain to get used to that. So we got to make sure he walks with an even step length. And that sounds like 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2. You got it, Paul? You understand that concept?
Yeah.
Okay. So right now you would say you feel obviously dramatically different.
Oh, right now I'm doing phenomenal compared to how I was doing before we called.
Right. Okay. So you should pretty much see that this is the solution, right? There's probably no confusion. There shouldn't be any confusion. Now, you might get sore after this. You're going to tighten up. You're not going to feel as good. So here's the concept. I'm going to send you this video tomorrow. Today is Thursday. So you're going to try and do this Saturday. What I would suggest is probably you should schedule a session with me again on Monday.
Monday.
Because I think I want to get with you on these first few times and make sure you perfect this until it feels fairly rote, really comfortable between the two of you. You got the concepts down, and all it is just keeping to progress the resistance, and that's going to be it for you. I want to make sure if you do it wrong on Saturday, you might end up with some pain. I don't know. I can't tell because I don't know if I'm not physically watching you. But you can try. And then I would say on Monday, we do a session. And then we say, how did that work out on Saturday? If you got the same response as me, okay, then maybe wait another week, right? But you got to get this response each time you do your exercise because it recognizes that you're doing it exactly right, right?
Right? No, there's no question I feel different. Now, if I get a pain episode, is there anything I could do to alleviate it other than just rest?
So what you want to understand is that your pain is coming from muscles. And when they strain, the muscle shortens. and the shortening concentrates the pain receptors that run along the muscle. So what you can do, remember what I told you is when a muscle contracts, lactic acid develops and it forces blood in, and blood is warm. Warmth keeps your muscles warm, so you can't get the pain because the muscles can't concentrate the pain receptors. So are you guys familiar with like lidocaine, not lidocaine, thermicare patches, icy hot patches, Tiger Balm patches? Have you heard of that? They're like 2x2 white pads, and they're sticky, and they have menthol and or camphor in them.
That's what she uses.
Yeah, okay, good. So your worst pain is where? In the front thigh?
Right, yeah.
Yeah. So what I would tell you to do, if you start to get that pain, put one of those pads on.
Okay.
Now that pad, for a good 3 to 4 hours, is going to allow menthol or camphor or both to enter your bloodstream. That forces blood to come into the area, and it's going to allow your muscles to remain kind of long. And as a result of that, you shouldn't get the concentrated muscle, which leads to your pain.
She's been telling me to use these things for years, and I kept telling
What
her.
about the
no.
hot tub?
Another great idea. Hot tubs are awesome. Yes.
Ha!
Now, let's say that the pain is so bad you feel like you want to put a bullet in your head. Whatever. From any kind of pain you have, no one knows about this. You have to understand that ice is an anesthetic. Ice is the equivalent if I shot you with Novocaine or lidocaine.
Right.
No one understands this thing. It blocks nerve conductivity. So let's say the pain in your thigh is just so out of control. Put ice on, it's going to be tough because it's ice direct. You put it on and within 2 minutes, you're numb. You cannot feel pain in that area. Okay? So that's the worst extreme situation. When in doubt, when the pain is really bad, put ice on, try to tough it out for the 2 minutes. You're going to go numb. And that at least, then you take it off after 10 minutes, at least you're going to get some short period of relief of that extreme pain. But as the pain started to grow, the best bet are those Thermicare or Icy Hot or Tiger Balm patches with menthol or camphor really keep blood in the area and it keeps your muscles warm. So that could limit that.
Wow. So Saturday I do more exercises.
The
Today,
same 4 exercises.
okay.
And Fran, try to help them with it, okay?
Absolutely.
So you're gonna, now I want you to say, it's not magic. It's not you're saying, oh, how am I gonna do this? You have this video. You're gonna
Right.
download the video onto your hard drive.
Right.
You're then gonna watch the video and stop the video just before you're gonna do the exercise, which you did on the video. You're gonna set yourself up. You're gonna press play, and then you're gonna do the 10 repetitions with you doing the 10 repetitions on the video. So as a result of that, you get to watch yourself and mimic what you're doing.
Absolutely remarkable.
That
Remarkable.
makes sense, right?
I just walked here without any pain.
Yeah, not only that, you could see that you weren't hobbling. You put a shitload of weight on that left leg.
Yeah. Yeah. I felt perfectly balanced for the first time.
So I guess I'm not crazy then, right?
I never thought you were.
No, everybody tells, like someone tells somebody, you know, I could only imagine these people are telling you, oh, you gotta see this guy. And you're like, what the fuck, man? I've had 7 surgeries. How the fuck is this guy gonna do? What's he different about? And now when you get to understand, you see that this is coming from an angle that nobody in the world has ever created. It's real.
I never trusted because I understand the business concept of it. I mean, my pain doctor would give me Percocet every month. And when I told him I didn't want it anymore, he tried to convince me to keep taking it.
Wow.
When I saw that I was 100% against it, he literally had the balls to say to me, thank God you're not putting that poison in you anymore. And I looked at him like, you're the one who told me I needed that
Wow.
poison.
Wow.
That was the biggest breakthrough of my life, was stopping Percocet.
Yeah.
Because Percocet creates pain.
Yes.
People
Well, what it
don't
does
realize
is it makes you dependent on higher and higher doses to limit the same level of pain. That's the problem.
Exactly. So sometimes you go, oh, I must have pain. I have pain. I need another pill, because your mind is craving the pill, but you don't know that. And then it justifies it by causing pain. I have so much less pain without the pill. It's ridiculous.
Yeah.
And-
It's a sad circumstance, man. You know, it's hard for me because I know I have the answer, and there's hundreds of millions of people who could benefit from this and just don't even know I exist. I'm just invisible in the world, you know. I have a YouTube channel. I have almost 300 videos on, and you see how I talk to you? That's what the videos are. They're all educational. It's all, this is what things are. This is how they are. This is what you need to do. Here's the theory. Here's the application. And, you know, it's tough. There's a lot of noise out there. There's a lot of noise. The turmeric people, the pain medication people, the CBD people. You got the people telling you this shit's in your head. You got people telling you the pain is actually, it's not psychological. Your brain is just eliciting pain from nowhere. There's so much noise. And then there's one guy saying pain is an indication of a tissue in distress. Establish what tissue is in distress, resolve the stress of the tissue. It no longer has to elicit the emergency distress signal of pain. You know who said that? Just so you know, I didn't. Hippocrates. Hippocrates said. Hippocrates, the father, if they're now going back and reviewing these educated academics are going back and they're looking at his writings and analyzing them. And basically, Hippocrates created the two words, amazingly, diagnosis and symptoms. And his premise was quite clear. Even back in the Greek period, this is going back thousands of years, if you wanted to treat somebody, you had to take a full history and physical evaluation. And that's what I do. I am as close to Hippocrates today as you can find. And that's the crazy part, is that all my premise was, and I figured out in school, was what has now gone beyond that, the value of technology. Just because technology is developed doesn't mean it's right, doesn't mean it's effective. You have to look at it in its empirical usage, not just theoretically, but what is its application showing you about its effectiveness. And it's 130 million Americans and 1 billion people worldwide, all based on that use. I'm guessing it's not working, right? And so I knew that. Thank God I was 32 years old. I went back to school at 30. And my father taught me analytical thinking when I was a child. I'm a logician by nature. There's nothing, no data ever enters my brain that doesn't go through a logical filter. You could talk anywhere, politics, I don't care what you talk about. I will always give you an analytical, logical, fact-based response. I don't have opinion. I don't live in an opinion world. I don't have nothing. I've also became enlightened. Stopped me from being crazy. I found enlightenment 3 years ago. And so I live in the moment. There's no such thing as connotation. Nothing is good, nothing is bad, everything is simply is. You just are, and you have to rejoice in simply being. And so that's allowed me to just, I don't get negative. And it's really allowed me to free myself so I can engage with you fully with my desire to help you. I don't need anything from it. I'm just here as a conduit. And when you say what you say and you say thank you, in my mind, I'm saying thank you to the higher power that gave me this gift, that allowed me to give this gift to this person. That's it. That's what it's been about.
I'm very appreciative of what I've learned this morning.
I'm glad, man. I'm really happy for you. And what we'll do is we'll send this to you tomorrow. And then Saturday, try it yourself. And then just make an appointment for Monday, whatever time's convenient for you. And then we'll do it again. And then maybe, once a week, if it's good, then once a week, maybe another 3-4 weeks, we'll just do it together. And if you're doing well, maybe we'll add an extra exercise. We'll try to start moving on. And we'll just get you onto the cycle. And then at one point, you're going to say, you know what? I got this myself. You know how you talked about a business model? I have the most retarded business model.
Right.
My business model is the opposite. My goal is to see you the least amount of times, which everybody would think is insane, but not if you're a guy who's trying to impart wisdom on people and give them their lives back. My job is to educate you and give you your life back so you can be free.
Everyone else is to keep you in the fold like an annuity.
Yeah. I've had a tremendously difficult problem seeing this as a business. I've had a lot of problems. I went bankrupt. I've been I don't know. I only now in my last year have a friend who's like 100 millionaire guy, and he's trying to guide me and understand what business means. It's very, and I made it clear to him, it's very hard to see this as a business when you think you've been given this information by a higher power, and you have the moral and ethical obligation to give this to people so they don't live in pain. And he's been in pain, and I've helped him, and he's like, "Listen, man, what you say? I understand who you are." But the reality is, first off, you're a human being and you have the right to live. Secondly, you give a value proposition. You don't tell people you're going to give them exercise or you're going to give them massage. You say you're going to get them out of pain.
Right.
There's a cost to somebody when you tell them you can do that and then follow through with that. And then secondly, if you want 1 million people to know this exists, you're going to have to put money back into your business to grow your videos, the exercises, all the things you want people to use to implement your system. So
Right.
there is a business end to it. You can still think of the way you want, but it is business. And it's taken me a while to try to get to this point. But I feel blessed. I feel like what I just did with you, the transformation. At 9 o'clock this morning, you didn't think there was ever a chance this was, you hoped,
Zero
but
chance.
you did not think it. Now you know there is a path to the rest of your life.
Absolutely.
And that's a gift. So,
Thank you for it.
all right, Paul, I appreciate it. It's my pleasure. So
Now, Monday's Labor Day, but that's okay with you, right?
this is my life. I don't care.
Beautiful. All right, then I will see you on Monday.
All right, man. If you have any problems prior, let me know. But try to do it on Saturday and we'll see you on Monday.
I will definitely do it. Thank you.
My pleasure. Say bye to Fran for me.
I will. Bye
All right.
now.
Bye-bye.